Remember that movie? The Perfect Storm with George Clooney. Sorry about that. My studio is kind of cramped nowadays. But hey, welcome to Tribulation 5/15/2011. We have reached day 539. It is a Thursday. It is October 25th out here in San Jose, California. We had been going through a wicked heat spell where temperatures got up into the upper 90s, 100 degrees. Now we've had 3 days of miserable, stormy, wet weather, winter. All the seasons are out of season. It's summer one second, winter the next, fall, spring, stuff is dying, But, that Perfect Storm movie with George Clooney, that's just incredible. We came in on it right as Mark Wahlberg was saying, we're going to make it. And, that's where everybody's at right now, if you've been blessed that your whole life is hedged in or you live a bubbleized existence where everything's hunky-dory in your life and you seem to have no perception of what the hell is going on in the world, well, hey, God bless you in the fact that your existence can be protected and that you can exist and be so unaware of what's actually happening in the world. But, the vast majority of us, with the presidential election less than 2 weeks away, everybody's like, hey, we're going to make it. If we could just make it past the election, vote for Obama. Vote for Mitt Romney. I've told you it doesn't matter who the hell you vote for. If you think this election is going to change what's coming, man, you got your head stuck in the ground or you're living in that bubbleized existence, where you still drink the purple slurp, the purple Kool-Aid. But, the election is right around the corner. And, just like in the movie, all of a sudden George Clooney and everybody on that boat realizes like, oh my God, we're in the perfect storm. And there's a wave that, is going to crush us. The bubble's going to pop. The whole thing's going to blow up on itself, And like George Clooney says, he says, it's not going to let us go. And, even those people that are in the bubble, I've been trying to warn you is, we're all in this together. We're all on the same boat. And, what's coming, it's not going to let us go. It's going to happen. And, going down and, like a clone, a Democrat or Republican and like a mindless idiot voting for Obama or Mitt Romney, if you think that's going to stop the wave that's coming, are you going to be in for a surprise, man? But, there is a correlation, President Obama, just like in the movie, George Clooney puts the hammer down. He heads directly into that wave at full throttle, thinking he can climb over that. Well, you know what? That's what Obama's got us going. He's got the pedal to the metal, betting the farm, betting his wad on his failed policies. And, I'll tell you, the sad thing is, Mitt Romney, there's some things about him I like, but you know what? It's too late, my friend, cutting taxes, saying you're going to rebuild the United States military. It's all too late. The perfect storm is here. That wave is rising right in front of our eyes. And speaking of which, in the news, in the headlines, all across the weather websites, Hurricane Sandy is forming down in the Caribbean, and it's forming this perfect storm right off the east coast of the United States because a massive cold front is clashing with it, and they're predicting cataclysmic thunderstorms, hail, tornadoes, you name it, to hit the east coast by Sunday. Now, if you think this is all by chance, I'd like to smoke whatever the heck it is you got, man, because you got some good stuff, to be blind. But the perfect storm is literally hitting us this weekend. Check your weather reports, man. Of course, out here on the West Coast, we just have our bizarro weather where the seasons change. But, I got my Giants shirt on. My last video, I said, the bubble's about to pop. The Giants bubble. Well, guess what? The Giants bubble did not pop yet. They won that last series against the St. Louis Cardinals, which was amazing. And now they're playing against the Detroit Tigers, and they won last night in convincing fashion, 8-3. You know, I've kind of brought this up in my past blogs, but, you know, sports literally gives us a window on what's going on in the world. And, you know, I don't know why that is, but it just is, you know. So the last time I talked about this was the NBA championship, where it was the Heat against the Thunder. And I said that kind of symbolized the two kingdoms that are clashing. You know, the kingdom of this world of Satan and the kingdom of God, you know, being Satan being the heat and God being the thunder and the lightning, you know. But, you know, this, and you know what, I literally predicted, I didn't get it quite right. I said, hey, I bet you $10 the baseball World Series will be the Giants versus the Angels. But you know what? It ended up being the Giants against the Detroit Tigers. But you know what? It still fits, because we're in the end times, my friends, and giants are upon us, you know. And, you know, the giants out there are the Illuminati, the ultra super rich and powerful, the sinister forces in high places. You know, they're all getting ready to put their plans in motion, because, you know, times are changing. We're in the end times. We're going from one time to another time. And, you know, this world is either going to mutate into another big, huge pyramid of power where a few people at the top have everything and all the rest of us are suffering, or the kingdom of God's going to come to earth. And that's the side I'm on, man, because that's the future I see, the bright light that is in front of me on the straight and narrow, which is heaven on earth, which is a new form of life here on earth, you know, where we chuck all the old systems, man, because they're all corrupt and broken, you know, from the world economy where money doesn't mean anything. And, you know, once again, it's the giants against the tigers. The giants are coming, the Nephilim. And who are they playing against? Well, we learned last night. You know, the Detroit Tigers are the paper tigers, you know. Everybody was thinking, oh, they can't be stopped. They're just going to roll over the Giants the way they did over the Yankees, because the Yankees are another paper tiger where, you know, just because they got a huge paper payroll, that doesn't mean they're any good. And likewise with the Detroit Tigers, you know, last night we figured out that they're just a paper tiger too. So, you know, as I've been saying, nothing is as it appears to be. You know, the whole world economy is a paper tiger. You know, the stock market just went down 400 points over the last 2 days. So what? You know, hey, guess what? It's going up today. That's because the Fed keeps pumping in fake money into the stock market. The reason it went down is because all the profit margins, there was a lousy business report. You know, nobody's making money. Nobody's hiring. And you know what? Some people got the hell out of the market, but it wasn't you, was it, my friend? No, it was the rich, the greedy, the powerful. They know. So when the stock market gets up above close to 1,400, they cash in while the rest of you fools keep putting your money in there, you know, and eventually it's just going to go and deflate like a balloon. And you know what? That's when money will be worth nothing and you'll have nothing. A paper tiger. You know, when you're looking at your 401k and your bank account and your pile of gold, you were like, oh, I got it made. I got everything I need. But no, you're just a paper tiger too. But you know, it's amazing, my friends. You know, you turn on the TV, and lately I tell you, you know, you got to be careful watching TV. But, you know, they're just brainwashing us constantly. Either, you know, get your credit score fixed, get your identity theft protection in place, you know, invest in gold, invest in your 401k, invest in the stock market. All stuff that you probably should not be doing, man. Because if you're coming out of Babylon, it's time to just let all that stuff go by the wayside, because none of that is important anymore. And, you know, look at the reality of the world. You know, like I said, paper tigers, you know, nothing is as it appears to be. And we just got done watching the presidential debates. You know, the last one happened Monday night, right in the middle of the football game and the baseball game. But, you know, we've gotten to the point where, you know, when these two guys are debating on who should be president, the rest of us are sitting here and all we're saying is who's lying and who's not lying. And the truth is, they're both lying. You know, and both of them, you know, the standard response, Obama, every time he opens his mouth, he's like, hey, everything Romney's saying isn't true. You know, and Romney's, you know, they laugh about it where it's like, ha, 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 ha. You know, like what you just said, you know, isn't really accurate. But no one actually uses the L word saying, you know what, dude, you're a liar. Liar, liar, pants on fire. No, we don't say that anymore. We got a million different ways to talk about lying or not telling the truth and make it sound goofy, acceptable, funny. And, you know, after the debate, all the news shows, that's all they do is let's check the facts. facts. And you know what? Every time they check the facts, both candidates are stretching the truth and lying, you know. And President Obama, he has the advantage because the mainstream media and the mediators of the debate, they basically back him up. You know, like the one time Romney turned to Candy Crowley, you know, where he was like, hey, Obama's lying. Candy Crowley was like, no, he's not lying. And of course, after the debate, she recounted her words and said, you know what, I was wrong, he was. But you know what, nobody cares, nobody even sees any of that. So once again, you know, we are in the perfect storm, my friends. The perfect storm of extreme weather, of nuclear meltdown over in Fukushima, of economic and global meltdown with the EU in crisis, with the United States debt crisis looming, with the destroy the military you know, I forget what the hell I was calling it, but it's that law they made a year ago where they said if we can't agree on a budget, we're just going to slash everything, and that's what is coming in January, you know, after the election. Don't worry. Just sit back, you know, once again, walk down to the voting booth, all patriotic, like, I am an American, you know, even though I'm a clone and I've been programmed to either vote Republican or Democrat, I'm doing my duty, and if you don't vote, shame on you. You know what? Shame on you if you do vote, man. You know, the only thing you should be voting for right now is God, and the only election you should be worrying about is the kingdom of God and whether you're part of the elect. So it's getting crazy, my friends. You know, tonight is game 2 of the Giants and the Detroit World Series. You know, once again, you know, you can jump into your bubble, turn on the TV, find a TV show where it's sunny out, you know, or watch sports. Sports is very distracting, you know, because, you know, the whole world could be going to hell in a handbasket, and guess what? We'll all still be plugged into our TVs watching baseball or football or basketball, you know, or whatever, you know, sporting event happens to be in front of us. But, you know, what we need to be doing is focusing our minds on what's real, on what the truth is. We got to be yearning and literally burning for the truth, my friends. And what you will find out in the long run, if you find the truth, it has a name. It's Jesus Christ, you know. So, you know, once you find that, you're beginning your walk, you know, on the straight and narrow. You have now seen the light, and you will start casting aside all the other falsities that make up what is known as our society. You know, I wish I could give a little good news out there, but man, right now there's really nothing good going on. The whole Middle East is just one crazy, you know, disaster zone of violence. You know, the Syrian war is escalating. And of course, in the presidential debate, we never did learn the truth, you know, about Libya. You know, our president, how him and his whole administration came out and lied to us for 2 weeks, telling us it was Sam Basil, like we're all a bunch of imbeciles. Right. You know, but Obama can sit up there on the stage in a debate and call his opponent a liar when that's all he does is lie. But you know what? That's right now, it's hard to tell who's telling the truth and who's lying. You know, I don't care what the heck we're talking to. You could be talking to your own friends, you know. Everybody nowadays has a way of stretching the truth and looking at things in their own ways. But I tell you, in the long run, my friends, there's only going to be one truth, you know, and that's what's going to prevail, and that's what's going to, you know, conquer at the end. You know, love conquers all, and guess what? Truth conquers all, you know. All right. This is 5/15, 2011. You know, one last thing, I don't know why, but the number 22 just keeps popping up over and over and over again. You know, sometimes 44, 33, or 11, but 22, 22, and 22. You know, November 22nd is coming up, and of course, December 22nd is the day after December 21st. You know, what does it all mean? We shall find out soon enough, my friends. But in the meantime, stay thirsty. You know, keep seeking the truth, no matter where it takes you. And don't believe everything you see or hear, you know, especially even if it's coming from my mouth. You know, double check me as well, you know. But that being said, may God bless each and every one of you out there. The tribulation continues.